Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Murphy, your host, with the National Black Unity News Podcast. And also with my partners, Mr. Onri Hector
What's
and
going on,
Mr.
everybody?
Satawi Jahi. And these brothers are always on post. They're frontline soldiers, and I'm pleased and proud, to be on the airways with these brothers. As we already know, there's a crisis in this country, but depends on how you look at things. There's always been crisis. Just that once something go to a certain level, and some just kind of be swept up under the rug. But tonight we'll be discussing some of these things that is, some may call it a pandemic, or some may call it a crisis, some may call it quite a few things, but we're going to talk about this thing.
We definitely are.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I want to bring on my brother Satawi Jahi.
Greetings from Daily Motivations for African American Success. Reading for the day, March 16th. Your best investment. You survive by using your best investment, by saying no to drugs, no to teenage pregnancies, no to disrespect. You survive by having a don't quit attitude. Arthur E. Thomas, President of Central State University. Reading for the day. Our Creator never confines us to a place where we cannot grow. Wherever our place may be, on the farm, in the office, behind a counter, at a teacher's desk, in the kitchen, or in the operating room. When we fill that place to the best of our abilities, personal growth is inevitable. 3 things begin to happen. We do a better job, we expand our talents through vigorous use, and we fit ourselves for larger responsibilities and wider opportunities. You can give our current position the benefit of our finest effort. We've all heard someone say, "I'm too good for this job. It's too small a position for a person of my talents. There's no opportunity for me to expand." In his contempt, this individual refuses to invest his complete capacities in his current position. Inevitably, he becomes dissatisfied, restless, and unhappy. He fails at his task. He falls short of the mark, and he cheats himself. A successful and revered businessman says in his early years, his mother gave him a priceless gift, the gift of service. John, she told him, it is not how much you get from a job that's important. It's how much you put into it that counts. Talent like muscle grows through exercise. If we fail to extend ourselves and merely go through the motions while we wait for something more suited to our abilities, we are headed for the continual frustration. Begin now to flex your muscles. Today I will fill my present position to overflowing. And it's again, we need to always make sure we're putting our best foot forward, as we're going to attempt to do tonight in this podcast as we discuss the issues surrounding the coronavirus and how it affects Black people in particular, poor people in particular, but everybody in general. So, we want to dive right into this. There's a lot going on in the country, as y'all know, around this coronavirus, and where did it come from, how did it get to us, and what is the things that we need to do to take precautionary measures so that we do not become infected with the virus.
Well, with that being said, well, this is just a thought. Now, based on observation, because like I say, I'm in the media as all the rest of us here as well. But I've been watching various stations, and the various major news channels, and they all seem to have different focuses, and some of them call what you call the blame game, and then some of them saying the government didn't act fast enough, or we wasn't prepared, and but nevertheless, from my perspective, see, that's what they're telling us, but from my perspective, by being in the media so long, is what they're not telling us. this thing evidently, if I had to judge, this is a very serious situation we're in. Because
Definitely.
anytime when they start shutting down major venues, I mean, all around the world, and countries actually shutting down. And one thing I do know, based on history, based on my analysis of certain groups of people, one thing they don't mess with, you don't mess with people money. And when they shutting these things down, that's what it gave me the signal that this thing is serious because I mean just about every major institution has been shut down from the school systems. A lot of the social things has been shut down. Even my wife today will be working from home, and she works for the city, and so all sorts of things that would have.
It's a big issue, and we just really need people to be mindful of paying attention to the news. And as Henri said, whatever you do is you pay attention to the news. Don't panic. When you panic is when you get irrational. You make decisions before you think them out. And that's one of the things that we're doing around here is making sure that we think out each and every move that we make. I got to go out again tomorrow and stock up on some more some groceries. But fortunately, we got the funds to do that. And then we got rent coming up at the end of the month. So I mean, it's a lot in terms of the resources that one needs to have. And again, learning how to be able to position yourself so that you can stockpile resources. Because those without resources, I hate to use the French saying, but they're gonna be shit up the creek. So they're gonna
Yeah.
need they're gonna need acts of kind. They're gonna need acts of kindness from other people. Um, we gave some money the other day to New Psalmist Church to their pantry to help them put more food in their pantry so that they could be able to provide food for the disadvantaged and those that don't have any. And the elderly is going to be hit really hard. And the immune system is not what it should be. And then if you get stressed out, then that just really tackles the adds more weight to the problem. And it's one of the things I'm trying to do is make sure I stay stress free and take plenty vitamin C. Which is you can do that with lemons and water or oranges and water, because vitamin C is supposed to help keep your immune system the way it should be, so it's not compromised. And stay hydrated. Drink plenty water, plenty water.
Right.
So
Well,
that's my take on it. Drink
well,
plenty, drink plenty
gentlemen,
vitamin C. Which is you can do that
we had a
with
conversation
lemons and
earlier today, and we were just talking in general, and we were talking about if things just so happen, if they do
water
implement
or
martial law or
oranges
the
and
Stabbing
water,
Act, whatever you call it, Brother
because
Satavi,
vitamin C is supposed to help
if the
keep.
government shut everybody down when you can't go out, and if people are hungry and they in destitute situations, then it's a natural law that kicks in. It calls for, and when it comes to survival, now we are seeing people who does things. You can just see a symptom of it. You can see, for instance, I'm using this as a parable: a drug addict. If he can't get his daily fix, he may go to any limits to get it, even if it comes down to even murder. And and I really can't see nobody paying attention to a law if they're hungry, if they're starved, or they're trying to find something to eat, even if that's to take it from someone else. And that's one of the things that we really have to be concerned about. And and I don't know the government. I've been watching what the president was saying, and then a lot of the governors are saying. They say they're not getting the resources from the federal government, even the testing kits or the resources. Like you said, brothers, time people. My wife was, like I said earlier, has been sent home from work, and then there's a lot of people living from paycheck to paycheck. One week would do it, and they're in panic mode, survival mode, and people already, I mean, because of the way, it's very difficult to just make ends meet these days on normal basis. And so, as we had this discussion earlier today, we were talking about, well, how do you prepare yourself? Now, like I said, I live in the city, and on the block that I live in, there's quite a few senior citizens who live by themselves.
Right.
4-bedroom houses and stuff like that, but they actually live by themselves. They're the
Right.
only person left in the family.
Okay.
And people, younger people, or any about, they can case neighborhoods and stuff like that. Now, if they telling you to stay away from people, how do you go check on people? For one thing, and when I was saying that word survival, how do you protect you and your family if your next door neighbors are starving and hungry? Yes, you share. That's the Christian thing to do. The humanitarian thing to do is to share. But if you're on a limited basis yourself, like you say 2 or 3 weeks into this thing, how does one protect the family? So it may get real serious out there. But I hope and pray that things will work out. Now, getting back to the source of this thing, I was thinking, like some people say, that conspiracy theory, because there is a real thing called germ warfare,
That's true.
and this epidemic came upon us. And I used to wonder, say, now where was this thing at 50 years ago, 100 years ago? All of a sudden, did it just pop up, or did something, or this way God have some type of vengeance, or did the earth striking back, or did man went into the laboratory and created these type of things? Because every so many years, the Ebola epidemic, and then everything else, swine flu, and then all of a sudden, every so often, these strands of germs come up and wipe multitudes of people out. And we all of us on here know that there's a major problem with overpopulation. And and it's strange because it says it was originated in China. But see now, if you look at things now, China's on the upswing. They're opening up stuff again. They moving around big time now. But all over the world, especially the United States, it's just heading. And you know, some people were saying in conspiracy theory that this is their vengeance on some of the terrorists that's been imposed upon them. And then China has a great big population. And they also enforce the law with one child and all. They got all kinds of stuff to try to curb that population.
Right.
But at the same time, we have to face back the old saying, old school saying, it is what it is. Some things we can change, and some things we just have no control over.
Right.
But how I mean, when it comes down to say 2 to 3 weeks into this thing, now, brother Hector, you work.
Yes, I do.
I don't know, how you stockpile your money or how you save money or things like that. But nobody knows the limitation of what a person will go through to survive. And I hate this. I hope and pray that we never get to that point when man, because we've seen all types of movies with it. They're similar. That show things. How people try to survive when they were in destitute situations. But I'm a strong believer in God, but sometimes even God says He would take vengeance on people. But I'm saying I'm just throwing a lot of stuff out there right now. But at the same time, I strongly suggest that we pray. Pray to God, those who believe in God, but also believe this: if you have enough to survive on. Check on your neighbors, your elders. Don't be that so afraid that you can't go outside and knock on somebody's door to see if they're okay. Even if you have to talk to them through the door, if you don't have the telephone number, we have to be our brothers' keepers. And and like I say, and the bad part about this is, the school system. A lot of children depended on those meals. That's all. Some of the only meals they really get sometimes is from their school
Yes,
system.
they do.
And Brother Satavi know that firsthand. And so now, like I say, they got these centers, but how can a child get to these centers, if they're supposed to be shut down, and things like this. And so, it seems like we are not uh, really not prepared for these type of pandemics, because if there was, and like I say, this is first time I'm 68. This is first time in my lifetime I've ever seen this much things happening on a worldwide system. That so many things are being shut down simultaneously. Never in my life. I remember I went through the polio area. I went through a lot of stages in lifetime, but they didn't go through this length, to take care. So this is the new one on me. But one thing about me is this. I'm not fearing. I have hope. I'm an optimist. I believe that things going to work out. But
It will.
but
It will.
but at the end though, a lot of people, man, financially, it's going to be hurting. It's going to take a long time for them to recover, if they do recover. And
We
so, so we got to step up, those who can. And brother, I hear you want to chime in. Go ahead, brother.
this is something important. Again, you know, this is affecting the quality of our life. We all can know, and we all can see that. My observation being out there today, um, you know, stores are depleted, supermarkets are depleted of their
Hmm.
food and resources and things of that sort. So we're just waiting every week for things to be replenished on the shelves. This is affecting the quality of our life. We can see that clearly. One of the things is, again, we cannot panic. Start early, have preventive measures set up. Go out there and get what you need to get, and just be mindful as you go. Make sure you make sure you're clean. You sanitize everything down. Governor Hogan has issued a state of emergency. We know a few days ago. He has activated the National Guard, 250 state troopers, to enforce certain legislative laws that have been put in place today, because of the simple fact that people are not taking this thing seriously at all. They're still going about their activities as though this is a normal day, and we cannot treat this as a normal day. This is a wake up call for everybody. I mean, it just allows us to kind of like take a step back and kind of review everything, and where do we really stand? Um, this is something that we really need to look at. The Federal Reserve said Sunday it was taking emergency actions to slash its bank mark interest rates to nearly zero, but the Fed's move did not claim markets. The Dow Jones, the average finished on Monday down nearly 3,000 points. So we see that life is being affected. Our money is being affected. People are being affected as far as their jobs concerned. We know that people have to work from home, do telecommunications, video. They get on their devices and do their videos or whatever they got to do from home. And this again, this is affecting our life. So as far as the MTA concerned, Mass Transit Administration, that's who I work for. Again, we have taken measures to ensure the safety for the public, making sure we wipe and sanitize everything down, and just making people and our riders reassured that everything is going to be okay, and we're trying to control the spread, and everybody has to play their part. The vast
Let me ask
majority.
you something on that thing. You work for the MTA here
Correct.
in Maryland, in
Yes, I
Baltimore,
do. Yeah.
and that's close proximity in a closed place, pretty much.
Correct.
when people get on the buses or the subways and things like that.
Right.
And so, are they doing any measures to kind of slow the schedule down, or is it business as usual?
Okay, so as far as the MTA is concerned, we're continuing to provide services throughout Baltimore metropolitan area and all of our neighboring counties of service to continue. There has not been any change. We have not received any word of anything changing, other than the fact of environmental services have kicked up cleaning and sanitation to ensure, the public is when they do enter into our state facilities, that they are sanitized well and wiped down every so often, more than usual. So all the cleaning has been beefed up, and we're continuing to provide that world-class customer service to our citizens and everybody else who visits Baltimore and uses our transportation. A lot of noise in the background there. As we continue to, just continue to look at the situation and realize that, again, we just have to make sure that we do everything that we can to provide safety for everybody here at the MTA. Um, so, I just urge people to continue to make sure that we take these measures seriously and make sure that we go out there and do everything that we can. Today, the governor have ordered certain restaurants and bars to shut down at 5 o'clock to prevent the spread of the virus and have that control. Hospitals that have not been used in a while have been ordered to open up and to start operating in that capacity. So we see that there definitely is an urge for control here. We have a few cases here in Baltimore, and they're being quarantined and checked and monitored so often. So but the thing is that we this is an opportunity for us to look back and just really look at our situation here. And we ask ourselves, how did this all began? I cannot explain how it all began, but I can tell you that it's our responsibility to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that not only that we're safe, that we're doing everything we can according to the federal guidelines to combat this disease. Now, just looking at some of the cases here, um, Tom Hanks, his wife, has contracted the virus, and I pray that they all are doing okay. I just got news today that we have an actor named Edris. Everybody know who he is. He has tested positive for the COVID-19, and it sucks, as he says. And he just as then. First, it came from Tom Hanks, so we all know that Rita and his Tom Hanks's wife Rita. Then it came for Edris on Monday. Today, actually, the British actor announced that that he had tested positive for the COVID-19, sharing the news with fans in a video announcement posted to Twitter about the situation. He says, in quote, "This morning I got some test results back for coronavirus, and it came back as positive," Eldra said, and he said it sucked. There's a picture of him posted on Twitter if you guys want to check it out. However, he added that I'm doing okay. So that's a blessing, and thank God for you, Mr. Edris, that you're doing okay. Elba was joined in the video by his wife, as you can see. She's the model Sabrina, who has not yet been tested, but is also doing fine. Elbra said the actor explained that though he didn't have any symptoms of the virus, which can include, the fever, the coughing, and the shortness of breath, he learned that he had been exposed to someone who tested positive for the virus on Friday. So he tested positive. He was interacting with somebody last Friday, and then the actor immediately got tested and received the results today. Actually, he said, "Look," and this is his quote, "This is serious. Now's the time to really think about social distancing," and that's true. We have to look at social distancing. I mean, I know that, we want to interact with our families, our friends, and not really kind of damper the quality of our life, but we really got to take precautions. I mean, and just proper hygiene. Everybody remember to wash your hands. As he said beyond that, there are people out there who aren't showing symptoms and that can easily spread it. So keep that also in mind. You don't have to actually have symptoms or show symptoms. You could be going around your daily life, interacting with other people, and not show symptoms at all. Okay? So beyond that, we know that there are people who aren't showing any symptoms, and they can easily spread the virus. Now, this time it's real. Now it's a real time to be really vigilant. You got to be vigilant. He also encouraged fans to self-isolate. I mean, again, it's not about, you cannot just think about yourself. You have to think about everybody else because the cause is greater than yourself. But it takes action if they want to start to feel ill. If you're feeling something, anything, it's your responsibility. And I encourage everybody, this is your responsibility. Go out there to your providers, your healthcare providers, and get tested. Do something about it. Don't be inactive. Be proactive. It's really important. We live in a divided world right now. Now is the time for solitary, kind of like just get yourself together, make sure you're good, because we have people who are elderly. We have people not even just being elderly, but we have people who have deficiencies, who have upper respiratory issues. My daughter Adriana, she has asthma, so I gotta be careful. And I always had to be careful even before this virus have taken effect in our country. It's very important because this can be a life or it's a life death situation. Now's the time to think about other people. Hanks is reportedly the only person who tested positive for the virus on the film set. So production was halted immediately following his hospitalization. Hanks and Williams are now back at their rented home in Australia. So, these are the things that we have to look at. It's not just for yourself. Don't be selfish. Take care of yourself. Proper hygiene. Look, this is serious. Now's the time to really think about what we need to do. And make sure that we take the proper procedures in making sure that we as an individual can do all we can to isolate the situation. It's a team effort. And that's the reason why Governor Hogan assessed the situation. And he said that people are really not taking this thing seriously and that we need to be serious about the situation, which is why he have done some executive orders. Okay, we see that immediately effective today, 5 o'clock. Restaurants are closed, bars are closed, because this is something that needs to be controlled. It's spread rapidly. I mean, this thing started in late last year, December. So we see that it's here in Maryland. It's real. Again, take in mind that you might not have symptoms, but you still might carry it. So it is just something that we need to really look at. I got some things that I'm going to post here right now online so that we can see how serious this thing is and what we can do to prevent any further exposure. I have some guidelines up there from the Maryland Department of Health on how we could, again, make sure that we're doing everything that we can because it's very important to us, not only to us but to the people that we owe it to, our loved ones.
Yes, it is very, very important, and it's very important that we, like you said, that we're mindful of what we do and how we go about doing what we do.
That's right.
Um, the I use the public library a lot, and the day the library shut down for the next 2 weeks, that's where I call like my office away from home. That's where I do a lot of my printing and stuff like that, and taking care of stuff I got to do for tax clients. So now I have to do is rearrange my schedule where I have to take and do what I do online, but put my flash drive disk into my laptop and then go to Staples to get my stuff printed out. But it changes how we go about our daily routines,
Yes, it does.
and also, it just causes us to have to be more mindful of what's going on and how all that's going on is going on. And some people say the origin of the virus, you know, came from Wuhan, China, and talked about how the people over there, their eating habits are a lot different than ours. They eat exotic kind of animals, and it's supposed to have been how the drippings from a bat, which they eat over there, and some other kind of animal, got connected, and from that, contaminated an area. And then there's some people that say, well, hey, they man-made this virus because the Chinese government is accused the United States Army
Right.
of manufacturing. But there's a good book out called The Eyes of Darkness, which was written in 1981,
Okay.
and in that book they talked about an epidemic that would hit around the year 2020. So again, a lot of these novels and stuff that have been written, they come out with their quote unquote conspiracy theories and how these things are going to work and interact. And so I would very suggest highly that people check out the book, The Eyes of Darkness, and read that book. I'll post a link where people can, or if you Google The Eyes of Darkness, it'll pull it up. But I'll make sure that Mr. Murphy posts that link in this podcast broadcast once he takes and put everything together for the podcast. So the thing is that the bottom line is it's here. We need to deal with it. However it got here, it's here. It's here now. We can't run away from it.
You can't.
And we all just have to face the dance to the music, as they say, and face the consequences and how we go about dealing with our daily lives. I know it has forced me to do some things that I was not ready to do.
Right.
And and so what as my wife said, to me, she said, "You don't want to be a murderer, do you?"
I mean, it's really not funny, but in a sense, it's like, do you really want to be a murderer? And some people will take this situation and use it for their own personal game. Hopefully not. I'm not saying that's what the case is, but we need to be mindful. Just again, for those of you who are tuning in, the National Black Unity News, this is the Onri Hector Show with the Black Unity News podcast, David Murphy and Satawi Jahi. And we're talking about the coronavirus here. Again, those of who are coming in and listening live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we're tracking the coronavirus case here in Maryland. And we're going to look at the numbers again. I'm going to talk to you about those numbers again right now. The numbers of cases of coronavirus here in Maryland continue to rise. As we all know, today, this morning, Maryland officials announced that 6 new cases have been confirmed, bringing the total in this state of Maryland to 37. That's a lot. So, as of today, excuse me, as of Sunday morning, the state of Maryland has provided the following as the country breaks down the statistics in this case. Again, we have Montgomery County, who has 15 cases, Prince George's County, 10, Baltimore, 4, Harford County, 2, Anne Arundel County, 1, Baltimore City, 1, Charles County, Carroll County, Howard County, Talbot County all have 1, which bringing the total cases to 37. Here's the timeline. Now, today, March the 16th, Frederick County has its first confirmed case of the coronavirus. The resident is a woman in her 30s who did not travel about, but had contacted with some people and had been in the area on an ongoing community spread of the COVID-19. And the second case here has been tested positive here in Baltimore. Mayor Jack Young said the patient is a woman in her 30s. Officials did not say whether or not she is hospitalized. City health officials are investigating the case. With the intent of heading off St. Patrick's Day rivalry, Governor Hogan today expanded the unprecedented steps being taken to stop the spread of this COVID-19, effective today at 5 p.m., which has already been in effect for a few hours now. The time here at Eastern Time, it's 8:17 in the p.m. All bars, restaurants, movie theaters, gyms will be forced to shut down. Drive-thrus, carryouts, and delivery services will continue. The governor also banned gatherings of more than 50 people, close proximity. The move is in line with the guidance from the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention. So officials across the country, many elements of the American life to fight the corona outbreak on Sunday, with health officials recommending that groups of 50 or more don't get together, and a government expert saying a 14-day national shutdown may be needed. And to say that definitely is going to affect us. So again, go out there, take this seriously, get what you need to get, everything to buckle down, and just take this opportunity. I was talking with my family today, and I was talking to some friends. Somebody said that this is a great opportunity just to have that relationship with our family, because sometimes we're going about our daily life and we don't really have the quality or that time to really spend with our families because we're out here doing so much. So take this opportunity. Don't look at it as a negative thing, but look at this as a positive thing. Get with your family, sit down and, at dinner time, let's all talk like a family, get together at the dinner table and just really get to know each other. You'd be surprised. Don't look at this as a negative thing. Look at it as a positive thing. God got a way of bringing people together. The scripture says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Take this opportunity to be comforted by your family and just really enhance the quality of your life and just look at this thing as a good thing.
Yes, it's important that we put a positive spin on it. And one of the things is being able to make sure that we increase our quality of contact with our family members. If you have someone you haven't spoken to in a while, reach out, see how they're doing, check on them. It's important that we do that. That because if we are in a not an epidemic but a pandemic.
Pandemic.
Which means it's global. It's not just related to one area. When I went through the Katrina crisis, that was related to just New Orleans, Gulfport, and other parts of the Deep South where
right.
the hurricane came through, and we saw the devastation of what happened to the people.
How was it down there? You was there, right?
I was there. I was there. We We got out the day before the storm.
Right.
The day before the storm had hit. And the thing was, which was interesting, was you had people going to church that Sunday, hey, we're gonna pray this thing away. I
Okay.
said, hey, I said prayer is powerful. I said, but I think y'all need to I think y'all need to have a backup plan. Um, and we had people that had their Sunday best on, man, and they was going to church like nothing, like it was nothing, and we ended up uh, taking a taxi cab out of New Orleans to Baton Rouge, 12-hour ride to get to the LSU camps because they had a shelter. We knew we wasn't going to the dome. Um, Superdome was another place that people went to, and we saw what happened to the. For those that don't remember what happened to the people at the Superdome, but anyway, we ended up going to Baton Rouge because I had a friend who had a wife who had a daughter that was working at LSU,
Right.
and let us know that they had a place there for people that came that needed to come who um, were like disabled, a place for the disabled people. And when we got there, it was very very interesting because we was trying to find a hotel, but all the hotels were booked.
Okay.
And so there was
Still there? Well, Satawi Jahi just blanked out, so I'm gonna continue the show. No need of stopping there. And he was telling us pretty much about his experience with Katrina and the devastation that it took on down the south. And it's amazing. We're dealing with different types of issues. And one of the things that he was talking about was Katrina and how that changed the quality of life down there. And this is real. I mean, we really got to look at the situation. I'm reminded of, there are people out there who are people of faith, who are people who do believe in God. However, it's important to have that faith. It's important to have that trust in God. Don't let that go. But at the same time, the Lord asked us to be wise and to take care of ourselves. So it's very important that we do just that. Um, Once again, we're going back to the situation with our coronavirus situation. I'm just urging everybody to continue to take care of yourself. Watch out for the elderly and people who have conditions, to look out for one another and to just be wise and take really diligent actions to just protect yourself. That's what it's all about. Yeah, the economy is being affected by this. Our work, how we're going to make money, how we're going to take care of our people. I don't have all the answers. I really don't. But I do know this, that we need to continue to trust in God. For I know that He cares for me. And if we continue to just, be diligent in what we're doing, that I believe that we can get through this just like any other situation that we can get through. But it's very important to just put God first in everything that you do. Make sure that you continue your daily life, however, with caution to certain things. Don't let this situation scare you, but rather just continue to take the cautions that we would need to get through this. um, just continuing to going back over, some of the cases that we're talking about here. Again, we're tracking the coronavirus here in Maryland, and just we're talking a little bit about how it's affecting each other's life. It, I mean, I'm being affected as well. I'm taking extra precautions, but also at the same time, I'm looking at this thing as a positive. I always spend time with my girls, but this time it was more intense. Uh, I had a chance to, we had a chance to have that bonding moment to do certain things that, sometimes we wouldn't do. Sometimes we go all over the place and go to different events, and sometimes we don't really concentrate on the people, but rather the gatherings that we're in or the events that we're in. We really had an opportunity to kind of like just stay home and just really focus on us. We had a little devotional time. We read the Bible. We just sang a little songs here and there, and it was really a blessing to me and my children. And we had an opportunity to really have that bond. So I encourage everybody: do not look at this situation as something that is devastating, but look at it as an opportunity to be with your family. Take this time out to be with your family. Talk about it. Play some games. Play some spades. I like spades. I really do. I enjoy playing spades, and just card games and something like that. Watch a movie. This is a great opportunity to really bond with somebody. Call somebody, check up on them. So at this time, anybody wishes to call in. Let's see here. The number is up here, I believe. Anybody's wishing to call into the station, you could call right now at 605-313-4163. And once you do that, you're going to get prompted to put in the access codes. And the access code is 659976. So I encourage people to call in on the station. We got a few minutes if you have any questions or you want to make any comments, concerns about anything. Please call in right now. The lines are open for you. Again, the number is 605-313-4163, and you just put in an access code 659976 and then hit the pound button. That's something you guys could do. So let's see if we have anybody back. Satawi Jahi, you still there? David Murphy. Anybody? All right. So I guess not. So just to give you a quick update, that's pretty much what we're doing here. Talking about the COVID-19, everybody, and just making sure that everybody's taking the caution to do everything you can and protect yourself and your family. And one of my scriptures that my uncle gave me, when I was troubled with certain things that I couldn't understand why things were happening the way that they were happening, he gave me this scripture. He said, let not your heart be troubled. I encourage everybody, do not let your heart be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in his ability to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or even think of, in spite of the situation, in spite of what it may look like right now. You might be frustrated because of your circumstances. You might be frustrated because of what's going on. But take your frustrated expectations to the Lord. He can work it out. Just trust in him with all your heart and make sure that you lean not into your own understanding. But the scripture says, in all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. This is a great opportunity to allow the Lord to lead you and to guide you. And don't be afraid by the situation. God is in control of the universe. Let this situation build you to make you a better you. Okay? And that's what it's all about. Once again, the lines are still open. Anybody would like to call in on the station, I encourage you guys to do that right now. Again, that number is 605-313-4163. And we definitely can talk about it, okay? So once again, we're dealing with the situation, okay? We're dealing with this outbreak. Even though this might be an outbreak, don't let this break you. And continue to do and practice proper hygiene and make sure that you do everything you can. Because we have to understand that the cause is greater than us. It's about the greater good. In Psalms 138, it talks about we can't be sure of anything, but we can be sure of this one thing, that God is definitely on our side. Fret not thyself because of evildoers. Psalm number 37. Fret not. Don't let this thing worry you. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it shake you up. Just continue to stand strong and continue to just do what you need to do the right way, of course, and everything is going to work out fine. This too shall pass. We can get through this thing, and again, we will get through this thing together. So once again, everybody, my name is Onri Hector, radio personality and motivational speaker from the Onri Hector Show here on the Black Unity News. David Murphy and Satawi Jahi. We thank you all for continuing to watch this station here. We thank you all, and continue to understand and know that the cause is greater than you. Everybody, I want to say God bless you. Continue to check my website at www.onrihector, that's ONRIHECTOR.com, and check out my website for latest events and everything like that. And once again, God bless you guys, and have a good night.